Philippines has put out some new money, 1,000 note in a polymer type base, and it's different, feels different, smells different, and decided to do this video because I just started getting them here in the last week or two. I started seeing them, and even at the ATM get dispensed only these new 1,000 peso notes. When they first came out a number of months ago, there was a lot of information that if they were bent, if they were folded, uh, retail establishments were not accepting them. They didn't think they could be bent or marked on or anything else. So people were having issues with using those notes. The main bank agents here in the Philippines, and I'll get into that information here in a bit, came out and said, well, you can fold it, and I'll get into some information on how to handle these new notes. I suspect that over time we'll see the other notes also become polymer in nature. And later in this video, I will also give you some advice and some hints about bringing the money that you bring from your country that you're going to use a foreign exchange to exchange that money into Philippine pesos. There are important things that you need to know about the type of money that you can bring in here and get a reasonable exchange rate for. We'll talk about that a little later. It has been my experience here in the Philippines to receive folded notes, and oftentimes, especially 20 peso bills, that they'll be very, very dirty and folded and bent and not in very good shape at all. And obviously, it's not sanitary, but also kind of makes a mess of the money. It doesn't last nearly as long if it isn't treated properly. It is rare that I'll see crumpled up bills in the like for malls, for instance, but yeah, at the public markets, your street stands, various other places, you just hand you a crumpled up bill is a very common experience for me. Jumping over to the main banking agency here in the Philippines, and they've got some information on the new Piso polymer banknote. Smarter, cleaner, and stronger. This issue came up when they first came out. Some stores were not accepting a folded bill, and there were a number of newspaper articles about it, saying that, well, yeah, you can fold it, but don't fold it very much. Place your polymer banknotes in wallets where they fit properly. If they become crumpled or creased, apply pressure or flatten them with your hands. I haven't tried that. Not sure how well it works. Anyway, keep them clean. Soiled or dirty polymer banknotes may be wiped clean with a damp cloth. Their surfaces may also be cleaned with alcohol-based sanitizer. Just wipe them dry using a towel or piece of cloth right away. Use them as payment for goods and services. Do not hoard polymer banknotes, nor buy or sell them at higher price. And do not deface, write down, or mark polymer banknotes. And even with your foreign currency, when you come to exchange it for Philippine pesos, very unlikely that if it is written on, if it is torn or older, a good chance that they will not accept it. Or at the very least, you're going to get a much lower rate for that. So you should have quite new, clean bills. Do not excessively fold, crease, or crumple polymer banknotes. These could leave permanent fold marks. Do not tear, cut, or poke holes in polymer banknotes. Do not staple polymer banknotes or use rubber bands to keep them together. You may use paper bands instead. I guess that would put a dent in it, I guess. Do not damage the clear windows, metallic features, and other security features of the polymer banknotes. Do not iron polymer banknotes. I would suspect that they could melt some of the plastic in it. Do not expose polymer banknotes to very high temperature or place them in or near open flame. Yeah, I don't think I want to burn my money. Do not expose polymer banknotes to strong or corrosive chemicals such as muriatic acid or bleach. Here's a look at the Filipino banknotes and coins that we presently have. And so you have the 20, which is very common. And like I said, you'll often get them crumpled and dirty, very, very dirty. 50s are generally cleaner, hundreds are cleaner, but very, very common. 200s, I don't see many 200s. I don't know if people hoard them or they didn't print that many, what the deal is. But occasionally I'll get a few. And the 500 and the 1,000, and then you have your coins. The 20 peso coin here, that's relatively new, and the 10 peso, 5 peso, 1 peso, and then you have centavos down here. Now the street kids won't even take centavos if you try to hand them now centavos because they are not very worth very much. But sometimes you'll get a bill and it'll call for centavos, so you'll get centavos in change, and I just give them those back and explain that even the street kids won't take these. I don't need a pocket full of them. I just read an article that there is a shortage of coins, and when you're at a cashier, many times they will ask you, do you have 15 pesos? Happened to me 2 times today. Do you have 15 pesos? Then I'll give you a 50 back for change to get it evened out. Because they're trying to get more coins into circulation because I guess people put them in piggy banks, store them, do whatever, and there are like I think millions, billions of pesos worth of coins sitting in not being used. So they're trying to get those back in circulation. Now a little bit about foreign exchange. You want the larger notes, regardless of what country you're coming from. They will give you a better exchange rate for larger bills, for instance, U.S. $100 bills or $50 bills. If you hand them a 5, a 10, a 20, you're going to get a lower rate. Also, you need to have, they don't have to be they don't have to be brand new, but that helps. But if, like I said before, if they're torn, if they're written on, if they're bent very much at all, they can be rejected, dirty. So bring the cleanest. I went to my Wells Fargo bank when I first came here, and I asked them for new bills. They told me that it would take about a week for them to get me brand new bills. But she went through a big stack and pulled out the best ones that we could find, and they were pretty good. And I did not have any problem with the used, clean, non-torn bills when I got here. But I have had other. I've had other effect. I helped a foreign exchange some money, gave me some money, and he was in the hospital, and went down, and he would not. They would not accept a couple of his bills because it had just one little ink mark on one of them, I think. I went to about 3 places, and I finally found one place that would exchange it, but they gave me a lower rate for it. And when you're exchanging money, you'll find not everybody has the same rate. So, research the areas in whatever area of the Philippines you are in, and there are some companies, locations will give you a better rate than others. Now, there is a foreign exchange near the grocery store in Ruston's in Cebu City, uh, in the Ayala Mall area, that gives a pretty good rate at the present time, but that can change. The company that's giving a good rate today might be a little different tomorrow. It might be somebody else that's giving a few pesos more, a few pesos less. And a quick note about ATM machines. Not all ATM machines in the Philippines accept foreign debit cards or credit cards. So that's an issue, especially once you get out of the larger towns and cities. Good idea to carry a decent amount of cash, enough cash to pay for your expenses when you're traveling to different islands. Uh, they might have an ATM machine that will accept foreign cards, but they might be out of cash, or it might be under maintenance. I've seen that many, many times, even over in I think Iloilo, a pretty good sized city. I think I hit about 5 ATMs before I finally was able to find one that was working. One of those would not accept foreign cards, my foreign card anyway. One took my card, and I didn't think it was ever going to give it to me back, which would have put me in a little bit of a bad spot. I've had that happen to friends where the ATM machine took their and kept their debit card or their credit card, and it takes a week or so to get your bank to send you a new one, FedEx it across the oceans, and always have a plan B, plan C. Have an account or two or three with money transfer companies. So if you lose that access to your money, you can hopefully you can send yourself some, and you can go to one of the money exchange places, and depending on what service you use, they will tell you where you can pick your money up, so you can transfer to yourself from your bank to yourself cash, either in your currency. Because I used to send myself $100 bills, and then I would take them to the best place to exchange them. Bit of a hassle, but uh, now I go to HSBC Bank. They will allow me to take out 40,000 pesos at a time, and do that once a month usually. And they don't charge me. My bank charges me, I think, $5 back in the U.S. As far as counterfeit bills, I have not encountered counterfeit bills to my knowledge, and I haven't had any problem with the Philippine money that I've gotten. I've got a few people that the Filipinos that regularly kind of look at their bills to make sure they are not counterfeit. So apparently they've had that experience. I've read a few articles over the years where they have caught certain people with trying to pass counterfeit bills. So it's best to become familiar with the new currencies you're going to be dealing with. Anyway, that's just a little introduction, and hope it helped you out. So I've got many other videos planned here, so we'll see you next time.